Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, am I in the friend zone? Well, that's definitely something that you should never ask a woman who you're trying to date or a girl that you've been friends with. Like in this particular case, I got an email here from a guy who's known this girl for a while, but when they met, he had a girlfriend, she had a boyfriend, and now both of them are single. And so I'm going to go through his email here because he brings up some good points, because there's obviously some interest on this girl's part, but because he's not really sure of what signals to look for or when to make a move, he's kind of fumbling the football and having a hard time acting like her playful lover or acting like her male girlfriend or her therapist. And so obviously when he does that, he gets wishy-washy, flaky, non-committal type of behavior. And so I see a lot of guys that, I used to do this when I was younger too. It happens sometimes. You get, I've had people that used to work for me or just girls that I got to know. Maybe I had a girlfriend, she had a boyfriend at the time, or vice versa, and so we got to know each other, and I never fuck around. At least when I was younger, I did, and obviously made plenty of mistakes. I'm not calling the kettle black, but the ideal is that when you meet somebody and they're taken, it's just you leave the door open by saying, hey, give me a call if it doesn't work out. Now, maybe you guys work together, so you're going to see each other all the time. And the idea is that you always want to make sure you treat all women the same, and it's important how you interact with them, to interact with them in a playful lover kind of way, as opposed to being like the male girlfriend and always being her therapist, listening to all her problems about her boyfriend or whatever. Because at the end of the day, love is playful and fun, and girls just want to hang out with a guy who's easy to be around, who's fun to be around, and they never know what he's going to do next, and he acts like a man is supposed to act, not like the gay male girlfriend or her therapist, who she'll love those guys, but she'll never sleep with them. And so he says, hey Corey, he says, I've got a girl that I'm interested in, and she started working with me about 6 months ago. At the time I had a girlfriend and she had a boyfriend. I was always sexually attracted to her. Well, we're both single now, and she recently broke up with her boyfriend of 7.5 years a couple of months ago. Somewhere in between me just wanting to hook up with her and now I developed an actual crush on her. Not a good way to go. See, the thing to understand about this is that, especially when you find a woman who maybe she's taken. This has happened to me before. I met a girl, it was a couple years ago, I met a girl really fucking was into her, but she had a boyfriend, and I just don't fuck around with that stuff because it's always better not. And we were talking one time, and come to find out she'd actually broken up with this dude. And so I got right to the point. I said, hey, when are you free to get together for drinks? And I made a date right then there on the spot. Made the place where we were going to go. We had a definite time. We had the day we were going to meet there. And that was it. And so I didn't need to do anything else. She gave me her phone number. I gave her mine. I texted it back to her so she had it. And that's all you need to do. The thing that you don't, because some guys make the mistake of thinking, oh, well, she just broke up with this guy, she's dated him for a lot of years, I'm going to be her friend for a while, let her heal, get over this dude. And most women understand that when a breakup happens, the best thing to do to get over it is to hook up with somebody new and to find somebody new. And one of the things why women tend to get over breakups a lot quicker than guys is because women are just simply more in touch with their emotions. And so they'll spend the time hanging out with their girlfriends or their friends or their family, crying, talking about how much they hurt, because you got to feel it to heal it. And women are more in touch with that, whereas us guys, we tend to avoid those things. We tend to avoid feelings and stuff them down, and we drink ourselves till we pass out. We go out with our buddies, and we never really feel the emotions. And so that's why it tends to take the guys longer. But like I say, you got to feel it to heal it. And so women are just much more in tune with their emotions, so they're able to feel the pain and the hurt and dissolve it. Just like if you've ever watched kids, when they're running around playing, one of them falls and stumbles, stubs their knee, and they crying bloody murder, and then you go over, you put a Band-Aid on, you kiss their boo-boo or whatever, and then 3 minutes later they're running around the house, climbing all over shit, ready for something else to happen to them, like nothing ever happened. They're smiling, they're happy, they don't get butthurt over it. It's like they feel the pain and they move right through it. Whereas guys, when we grow up, because society tells us we're not supposed to feel the bad feelings, and so we tend to avoid them. Whereas women, they're fully present with their emotions and their feelings of hurt and loss, and they work through it a lot quicker. And so the point being is that you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you're trying to rationalize, say, oh, well, I'm going to be Mr. Nice Guy for a couple of months, give her a few months to heal, be there for her, be your therapist, write her sappy cards telling her it'll get better. The idea is to hang out, have fun, and hook up. Is to say, hey, look, I understand you're hurt. If you want to talk about it, great, but let's go out and meet out for a drink and have a good time together. And let's not worry about what happened in the past. Because the idea is that, as women are emotional beings, is that you got to think about everything that you do and everything that you say in this context. Is this going to make her want me more, or make her want me less? Is this going to cause me to look stronger and more confident and masculine in her eyes, or is this going to make me look more feminine, weak, and like a male girlfriend who never gets anywhere? And you got to think about those things. And so the idea is that when you're around her, loves playful and fun, so she just you keep her laughing, having a good time, hang out, have fun, and hook up. Enables her to get her mind off of the breakup and just focus on having fun. And that women want to be in a love story, and that's kind of how things happen. Like all the women in the past that I was friends with and hooked up with, that's usually what happens. Your friends, you hang out all the time, all saying, oh, what, really? You're not with so-and-so? It's like, great, why don't you come over here and give me a kiss? Or you could say something like, hey, I'm happy to help you out with some rebound sex if you want. And you say something like that, and she'll laugh and she'll punch, and you say, oh, that hurt. You should kiss me. You should kiss me to make up for that. And it's just playful banter. But it's important that you interact with her in that way, and you communicate and you use sexual innuendo at the appropriate times and be playful with her instead of getting stuck being the therapist. Because if you do that, then you're going to be the source of strength, of the shoulder that she wants to cry on when she feels bad, but she's going to go and fuck some other dude. The next thing you know, you're like being Mr. Nice Guy, and all of a sudden you find out she's fucking one of the other dudes that you work with because he got right to the point. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Because at the end of the day, the men are supposed to gently lead the interaction to where you want it to go. So if you want to be her friend, then act like a friend. If you want to be her lover, then do things her playful, fun, mysterious lover would do. He says, so we talk a lot and hang out once in a while, and I asked her one night via texting if I was in the friend zone. Dude, never a good way to go. And if you have to ask, you're in the friend zone. See, you're begging, you're just begging her, you're asking for her to stick you in friend zone when you say something like that. When you say that, you totally communicate, I don't have any idea how attraction works, and you're clueless. And you're just like 97% of the other gay male girlfriend type of guys that want her but just have no idea what to do. He says, she told me that I was, and not a surprise, and that she is just not ready for another relationship. Because you're giving off the relationship vibe instead of just hang out, have fun, and hook up kind of vibe, which would help her get over it. That's how you end up having rebound sex. At the end of the day, who cares? Hang out, have fun, and hook up, and don't get emotionally attached to this girl. You let her come to you at her own pace. And so when she thinks about the ex-boyfriend, or maybe she's still talking to him, he's pushing those negative buttons, but every time she talks to you or she interacts with you, guess what? You make her laugh, you have fun together, you always make her feel good. You notice I said feel. Feel good. That's the important thing to understand with women, because they're emotional beings. And you got to make sure that the vibe that you're giving off is fun, playful, little sexual innuendo here and there. It's like 90% charming James Bond, 10% of the time naughty boy. He says, she told me that I was, and that she's just not ready for another relationship. And if you were older, you'd have a better shot. Well, they're only like 4 years difference. That's a BS excuse. You know, she's trying to gently let you down after you basically communicate. You have no idea how attraction works. He says, one night I was at her apartment drinking with her, and she told me when asked who her work crush is, that she would say me. But she says that, great. And it's like, that's an opportunity right there. Just like, well, great. Well, I think you just need to get it over with and kiss me. Stop torturing yourself and staying away. Come over here and sit in my lap, sweetheart, and plant those beautiful, juicy lips right on mine. And you just sit there and look at her and smile. And usually she'll giggle, she'll laugh, she'll come over, and she'll put her arms around your shoulder, and she'll kiss you. Because you're acting like a man in that moment. But if you're doing all this friendship stuff like, gee, where do I stand with you? Do you think I have a shot with you? Which is kind of the vibe that you're giving off, and that's the gay male girlfriend vibe, and you'll never get anywhere with that. He says, but how can I, he says, well, later that night, she told me that I could sleep in her bed, but no funny business. And that's when you say, well, I sleep naked, and, if something pops up and pokes you in the back, feel free to let your fingers do the walking, sweetheart. You say things like that. It's just throwing it. It's like, if I wake up in the middle of the night and, my dick's so hard it could cut diamonds and you jump on top of me, I'm not going to kick you out of bed for eating crackers. He says, when I woke up in the AM, she put her arm around my waist for like 30 seconds, and he was like, and she's touching you. That's when you should, well, hopefully if you brush your teeth, maybe you're going and, stick some toothpaste in your mouth so your breath smells somewhat decent. And you just say, when she puts your arm around your waist, you just say, that's cool, but this would be a lot more fun. And you put her hand right on your dick. It's playful. Why not? I mean, seriously, you're acting like the male girlfriend. It's like, when I say 90% of the time charming James Bond and 10% of the time naughty boy, the naughty boy would, she puts her arm around your waist, that's when you take the hand and you put it right in your balls as you're laying there in bed together. And she says, what are you doing? She says, well, that's a much more comfortable place for your hand to rest, don't you think? You can have a lot more fun with where you put your hand than just having it around my waist, so feel free to let what happen naturally, and we'll just see what pops up. He says, besides that, nothing physical has happened between us besides her giving me a back massage. And that's when you reciprocate. You start massaging her, and then you just, just gently like graze her nipples as your arms are moving around. And then when you notice that her nipples are getting hard, it's like, oh, your nipples are getting hard. You must be getting turned on. It's like, that always happens when I get in bed with beautiful, sexy girls like you. He says, and so right now, she does take priority when it comes to hanging out. If she wants to hang out, my best bros want, I'd pick her without even thinking twice. I used to go out of my way to do cute things for her, but since she said I was in the friend zone, I really haven't. Good, you shouldn't do those things. She's not your girlfriend, so stop that crap. He says, when she asks me to do things for her, I generally do them. Well, that's good because she's pursuing you. So obviously, I would imagine she has some kind of level of attraction for you, but you keep asking like the nice guy, the gay male girlfriend, and that's why she's kind of torn, because you're not acting like you deserve it, like you deserve to be there. If you had success with other women, it wouldn't be a problem for you to do these things, but you just simply haven't practiced this stuff enough. He says it's gotten to the point now where she is constantly in my mind and it's driving me nuts. I cannot even try to get in the mindset of being just friends since that night we were drinking in her house. If I could get her out of my head that I don't have a shot and she's fun to hang out, here's what you need to do, dude. It's quite simple. Don't call her, don't text her. When she reaches out to you, hey, great to hear from you. We got to get together. When are you free? And then go over to her house, hang out for drinks, or have her come over to your house and hang out for drinks. And when she gets a little frisky like that, you just need to simply escalate it in a playful way, just like I've talked about earlier in the video, because you had some really good opportunities here, and you just didn't know how to take advantage of them. And I would encourage you to also read my book to learn the basics, because there's this girl's giving you a lot of signs, and it's going right over your head. So if you want to get a digital copy of my ebook, go to my website, and under the email sign-up box, the box that has a link that'll take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read my book on. And the quickest way to get my help, if you have a question or if you want to talk to me personally, the best way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.